the past, present, and future of humanity. Nature and people in concert. Harmony and exchanges among different civilizations. Human creativity. All can be found in Korea. The UNESCO World Heritage and Memory of the World. The Chosun royal tombs underscore the long history of the Joseon Dynasty. Chosun succeeded Koryo in 1392 and lasted for more than 500 years. The Chosun royal tombs refer to the final resting places of 27 reigning kings and queens, as well as others so named posthumously. The Chosun royal tombs are invaluable cultural assets that highlight Korea's Neo-Confucian culture. Ancestor worship was particularly important in Chosun. Based on the Confucian value, the royal tombs were sanctified because the king was regarded as the supreme authority of the state. The people worshiped the spirits of deceased kings by building magnificent tombs for them and paying regular tribute there. This tradition also served to bolster the power of the reigning monarch. A total of 42 royal tombs are extant from the Chosun period. 40 of these are in South Korea, while the other 2 are in the north. Those in the south are all on the UNESCO World Heritage List.
조선 왕릉의 특징의 하나는 주변 자연과 조화롭게 자연 친화적으로 조성한 게 특징입니다.
Few of the world's royal dynasties have preserved so many of their rulers' tombs in such excellent condition. These tumuli are all the more valuable because of their completeness, covering the entire dynastic line. The royal tombs of Chosun are a valuable world heritage in multiple respects. The sites for the royal tombs were carefully selected according to geomanic theory. Namely, they must face south with mountains to the rear and a stream to the front. They must also be shielded on its left and right by mountain ridges called the Azure Dragon, east, and the White Tiger, west. To be particularly auspicious, the site must also have a ridge opposite to the burial mound. The royal tombs of Chosun all share certain specifications. The tombs were built and located according to the Confucian order of the universe. The space is divided into 3 sections, with a T-shaped hall in the center. This is where living persons interact with the spirits of the dead. A hall for purification and other structures for the living are placed at the tombsite entrance. Inside the red spike gate are the T-shaped hall, a guard shack, and royal kitchen for preparing the sacrificial tables. Here is where the worshipper communes with the spirit of the deceased king. Beyond that is the sanctuary, with the burial mound on top of the hill as its center. The mound is normally surrounded by 12 stone pillars that signify the 12 points of the compass. The pillars are decorated with images of the 12 earthly branches and some written passages. They serve as tomb guardians. The burial mound construction and layout of the various stone figures around the mound include some characteristics not found in other traditional Confucian societies. The warrior and scholar statues, stone walls, and stone gates exemplify the unique style of Chosun sculpture. The pathway in from the red spike gate leads to the T-shaped hall. The architectural structure is simple and austere, typical of the solemn and particular world of forms found only at the Chosun royal tombs. The rest of the tomb site is also constructed according to the Confucian order. The Chosun royal tombs represent a unique funerary tradition based on contemporary views of the world, religion, and nature. Thus, they are distinct from the royal tombs found in neighboring Confucian countries. These tombs showcase an architectural style that spans over 500 years. The contemporary ideology, political history, and creative artistry of Chosun are manifested here. The sacrificial rites conducted at the tombs for centuries also offer a look at distinctive funerary practices. The royal tombs of Chosun are historical sites as well as representatives of various cultural values. The funeral rites and memorial sacrifices were conducted according to strict procedures. All the rites and other tomb-related activities, including their construction, are recorded in detail. An annual memorial ceremony is performed by the descendants of the Chosun ruling family to this day. Memorial rites have been held by members of the Cheoyongmu clan since 1910, the year when Chosun ended. In addition, state rites are held regularly and a royal ancestral shrine has been established. It's easy to see that the Chosun royal tombs play an important role in continuing the ancestor worship tradition, which was very important in Chosun. The tombs are all situated near the capital, either to the east or west. Chosun law required that the royal tombs be located outside a 4-kilometer radius from the capital, then known as Hanyang, but no farther than 40 kilometers away. The tomb sites are geometrically auspicious and have become important green zones within the modern city of Seoul. The 33rd World Heritage Committee met in Seville in Spain on June 30, 2009, and designated all Chosun royal tombs as World Heritage Sites. The tombs were built according to the principles of geomancy, and the intersections are carefully defined. They also blend in with the beautiful natural surroundings, and a sacred atmosphere is engendered, where the tomb, stone sculptures, and buildings form a harmonious whole and represent an important chapter in the development of East Asian funerary customs. Another unique feature is the ongoing performance of the memorial rites, a tradition that has lasted over 600 years. All these factors combine to make the Chosun royal tombs such valuable World Heritage Sites. DUNGIBOGA, renowned Korean encyclopedia of the principles and practices of East Asian medicine. The DUNGIBOGA, or the Exemplar of Eastern Medicine, is a valuable record now listed as part of the Memory of the World program. In the year 1597, Royal physician Hojun compiled the contents for 16 years. The 25-volume text emphasizes both science and application. It is considered an encyclopedia of Eastern medicine, systematically detailing everything known on the subject up to that time, and the work was first printed with wood blocks.
우리 몸 안에 오장육부에 관련되는 내경편, 눈, 코, 입, 귀 이런 손발 이런 우리 몸의 그 바깥 부분에 해당되는 외형편, 그리고 아주 잡다한 그 질병 관련되는 잡병편과 1212가지 약재, 그 중에 637가지는 한글로 이렇게 약재 이름을 써놨는데 그런 그 탕액편과 또 침 놓고 뜸 뜨는 그런 침구편, 이렇게 5종류로 구분되어 있습니다.
The many illustrations make the DUNGIBOGA easy to use, and it was published repeatedly, not only in Chosun, but also in China and Japan. Hojun's opus contributed much to the development of traditional East Asian medicine at the time, and it is still recognized as being among the best works of its kind in Korea. The greatest academic value of this work is not the information cited from other contemporary medical texts. Rather, the systematic organization is well suited to East Asian medical theory, while also being critical and creative. Above all, the work enabled people in Chosun to switch expensive Chinese medicinal herbs to herbs found locally. For these reasons, the DUNGIBOGA is acknowledged internationally as a valuable heritage.
이 책이 한 민족, 한 국가에 국한된 그런 책이 아니고 세계인이 같이 공유해야 할 그런 책으로 평가를 받는 데다가 또한 과거, 현재, 미래를 이어주는 그런 가치 있는 책이라고 인정되어서 세계 기록유산으로 등재되었다고 볼 수 있습니다.
The DUNGIBOGA is the compilation of traditional knowledge that still contributes to the development of East Asian medical practice. It is more systematically organized than any other medical encyclopedias, and importantly, the original manuscript still survives. This truly is a world-class legacy which is in its original form and is one of a kind. The DUNGIBOGA emphasizes Korean elements. At the same time, it can be described as the world's first text for promoting public health because the content was made easy for common people to understand. This is why this text was included in UNESCO's Memory of the World program. This text employs the holistic method of East Asian medical practice when treating illnesses, while the patient's psychological and emotional states are also considered. Therefore, the text has been acknowledged for its social and philosophical as well as its technical value. The traditional Korean village, Yangdong village, and Hahoe villages. Traditional village communities in Korea can be classified in various types. Some were formed around towns and others were made up of a single clan. The clan village today is important for showing traditional life in Korea. Clan villages began to form in early Chosun and eventually accounted for 80% of all the rural communities in Korea. Today, some still exist and carry on their traditions. Yangdong and Hahoe are two villages that have preserved their tradition the best. A Korean clan village is formed when men with the same surname and bloodline settle in one location and marry brides from outside. The majority of the population belongs to just one or few clans, or a single clan plays a leading role in decision-making. Hahoe and Yangdong are the perfect examples of a Yangban or gentry village, as well as a clan village in Korea. They are located in the southeastern part of the peninsula, where the Yangban culture blossomed in Chosun. The structures are built according to Confucian guidelines and suit the local weather of hot and humid summers, as well as cold and dry winters. Yangdong is in Jeju, North Gyeongsang Province. The village is over 6 centuries old and a prime example of a Yangban village dating back to Chosun. Traditional Confucian lifestyles survive here. Yangdong is a village dominated by 2 clans, the Wolsung Sun and Yogang Lee, who came here to live with their wives in early Chosun. The village is situated in a good location according to geomantic principles. It sits on the wide Angang Plain and is surrounded by small valleys that form the Chinese character for running water. Such topography is believed to bring the inhabitants many benefits. Yangdong is characterized by building locations dedicated to the lay of the land. Here, man-made structures and natural surroundings coexist in harmony according to the principles of geomancy. The village, with its long history and traditions, is full of valuable cultural assets. Most important among these are buildings constructed in the 15th and 16th centuries in Chosun architectural style. More than 30 of the structures are over 200 years old. The descendants of the main line still live in the main house and take care of various cultural assets which have been designated as national treasures. Many old buildings such as Mucheomdong, Hyungdan, and Kwanggajeong have been designated as valuable cultural assets. Descendants of Yi Eun-jok live here, the famous scholar of Chosun who studied Neo-Confucianism in Dongnakdong, a hall at Oksan some 6 kilometers away. Later, he founded a Confucian academy here. This village is where he strove to attain the height of Confucian learning as a scholar by controlling his emotions. The strong and upright spirit of the scholar lives on here. The architecture of each building represents the ideals sought by the gentry of Chosun. The two-story pavilions on the hills are a vestige of the self-governing body that administered over the wide Angang plain. These structures offer a glimpse into Chosun life, where pavilions dotted the ridgelines. The spatial aspects of the pavilion tradition also represent the status system of Chosun. The upturned eaves of the master's quarters and the elaborately carved railing showcase the artistry of Chosun architecture. The open wooden floor, or maru, conveys Confucian values. Namely, people should revere heaven, be graceful to the earth, and live together without conflict.
조선시대 때 유교 철학을 근본으로 한 이 동네에 그 경로사상이라든지 충효사상이라든지 또 예절, 관서, 통가일에 이러한 미풍 양식들이 계속 유지되어 오고 있습니다.
Other heritages here include the portrait of Sun So, National Treasure number 1216, which has been handed down since Chosun, and the seasonal customs that are still practiced here. Yangdong boasts well-preserved buildings placed at ideal locations according to the theory of geomancy. 3, including Mucheomdong, have been designated national treasures, and 11 more have been named important folklore materials. Yangdong is now carefully maintained and managed as an important folk village, and preservation of the original form is a major concern. This is Hahoe in North Gyeongsang Province. The Pungsan-ryu clan has been living here for over 600 years, making this one of Korea's leading extant clan villages. It is known for the well-preserved traditional homes, both tile-roofed and thatch-roofed. This village is particularly known as the birthplace of two brothers. Ryu Won-ryong was a famous Confucian scholar, and Ryu Song-rong served as a prime minister during the Japanese invasion of Chosun in 1592. Hahoe is preserved in its original state and boasts architectural beauty. Highlights include Yeongjin-dong, Chunghyo-dong, and Bukchon-dek, which represent the Yangban lifestyle. The Byongsan Confucian Academy is an outstanding example of period architecture. The name Hahoe means river turning around. The appellation was selected because the village is inside S-shaped bends of the Nakdong River. From afar, the village offers a special look. The community is in harmony with its natural surroundings, with the Nakdong River bordering it on the east, west, and south. The landscape resembles a lotus floating on water, or the great ultimate symbol. Both forms are considered auspicious in geomancy. The village is guarded by a Zelkova over 600 years old. The homes face the river with this giant tree among them. Over 150 households still reside here. A central road divides the village north and south into Bukchon and Namchon. Yeongjin-dong and Bukchon-tek are key homes in Bukchon, and Chunghyo-dong and Namchon-tek are the leading houses in Namchon. Hahoe became more famous as a traditional village after Queen Elizabeth II visited here in 1999. The majestic gates and solemn Confucian structures in Chosun architectural style provide a glimpse into the lifestyles of Yangban scholars who respected and worshipped their ancestors and pursued learning as a lifelong calling. The four key Confucian ceremonies, coming of age, wedding, funeral, and memorial rites are still conducted here, along with folk traditions such as the Hahoe Byolsien exorcism, a mass dance drama that dates back to the end of Koryo. Hahoe Mass, the oldest examples of Korean folk mass, have been designated Korean National Treasure number 121. Of the original set of 12, 9 survive: the bride, monk, young bond, scholar, servant, scholar, servant, woman, butcher, and old lady.
하회탈의 특징은 사람의 표정, 결국 희노애락을 다 표현할 수 있다는 데 있습니다. 그래서 세계적으로도 가치가 있는 탈입니다.
The vibrant expressions on Hahoe Mass have earned them high praise worldwide. The masks are made of alder wood, painted and covered with 2 or 3 coats of lacquer, which brings out the beautiful colors. As such, they are both dignified and refined. The mass dance drama called the Hahoe Byosin Exorcism has been handed down for about 500 years. It is an important source for studying the origins of this folk genre in Korea. The subjects of the plays are usually satirical and poke fun at the gentry class. Hahoe represents a mixture of elements. The bohemian and satirical mass dance dramas exist side by side the conservative traditional Confucian culture. Hahoe is a valuable World Heritage Site where the beauty of old homes and unique intangible cultural assets have been preserved. Yangdong and Hahoe are 2 of Korea's most important traditional villages and were established in the 14th and 15th centuries. They are in harmony with their natural surroundings and reflect the traditional Confucian ideals of Chosun. They are highly valued because the traditional architecture is well preserved and acts as a center of Confucian teaching. These communities have protected and handed down the Confucian way of life and traditional culture to the descendants living today. The footsteps of the cultures of humanity. The UNESCO World Heritages in Korea remind us of the true value people possess. The footsteps of the cultures of humanity. UNESCO World Heritage in Korea. Korea's intangible heritage shines in world cultural history, from masterpieces by the very best creative talent to artworks based on cultural traditions. Jeju chilmeoridang-yeongdeung-gut writes to deities of the land and sea. The UNESCO World Intangible Heritage List has been created to respect diverse cultures and human creativity. The Yeongdeung-gut, held at Chilmeoridang, or Shrine on Jeju Island, is one of the heritages so designated. Gongnip-dong is a small fishing village on Jeju. The place was formerly called Chilmeori, and shamanic rituals called dang-gut are held at the local shrine. The Yeongdeung-gut is particularly important because it is the only shamanistic ritual specifically for women divers in Korea. The Jeju Chilmeori-gut is based on the worship of the wind goddess Yeongdong, practiced on the south coast and southern islands. The Jeju wind blows hard during the second moon, and the women divers stop work because of the strong waves. They once believed that the phenomenon was caused when old lady Yeongdong descends to earth. The women divers live a precarious existence, subsisting on whatever they could fish out of the sea. Therefore, the weather was a big concern. Thus, they naturally would believe in and worship a wind goddess. Formerly, rites were held to village protector deities identified as the regional inspector general and his wife of the dragon king, god of the sea. At the same time, a welcoming ritual was held for the wind goddess Yeongdong, and this is what we know as Jeju chilmeoridang-yeongdeung-gut. A key difference between this shamanic ritual and those held on the mainland is that on the island, every villager participates. Livelihoods dependent on the sea are reflected in the ritual. The wind goddess was traditionally believed to visit Jeju Island on the first day of the second lunar month from her home on One Eye Island. She was thought to provide the local fishermen and women divers with bounty before returning home on the 15th day of that month. The Yeongdong welcoming ceremony is held at the Chilmeori shrine on the first day of the month, and a Yeongdong send-off ceremony is held on the 14th. The villagers believe Yeongdong is receptive to a send-off more elaborate than the welcoming, and that she also attends a second send-off the following day, the 15th, before departing. Interestingly, during the first 2 weeks of the second moon, seafood was traditionally scarce, and clams harvested at that time were often empty. Therefore, the people justified the ritual activity. The seafood shortage during the time goddess Yeongdong is supposed to be visiting Jeju is attributed to her eating it all up and enjoying the local sights. So the welcoming ceremony is simple, while the farewell ceremony is quite extravagant, starting in the evening and continuing until the following afternoon.
영등신이 들어와서 이제 제주도의 모든 풍어, 육상으로 가면은 오국 농사를 씨를 뿌려주고 가고, 바다에는 뭐 해초, 고동, 생북, 전북, 소라 뭐 이런 전부 다 씨 뿌려주고 가는 마당에서 송별 대제를 아침 9시부터 시작하면은 저녁 6시까지 하는 거예요. 그래서 송별 대제일이 제일 규모가 큰 행사입니다.
A shaman presides over the ceremony, which is filled with percussion music and dancing. The ceremony begins with the Chogam rite, summoning all the gods and wishing luck to all the human participants. Next, Bonhyang Durom commences to invoke the village guardian spirits and pray for the peace and prosperity of the village. After that comes welcoming ceremonies for the god of the sea and goddess of the wind, and prayers are said for the safety of the fishermen and women divers. Other rites are performed to ward off evil spirits, allow the women divers to return the seeds of the things they caught to the sea, and send off Yeongdong on a boat. Everything ends with Dojin, where all the gods that have been invoked are sent home. It is said that after the goddess leaves, spring comes. In other words, Yeongdong is the goddess of the wind and the herald of spring. The origin of the Yeongdeung-gut is prayers for a bountiful catch. The Jeju chilmeoridang-yeongdeung-gut has been handed down for the past 500 years, and the ceremony involves a folk religion and the beliefs of women divers unique to Jeju. It is a valuable world intangible heritage that may provide some answers to questions about cultural origins. Ganggangsuwollae, symbolizing the wishes made to the full moon. Ganggangsuwollae is one of the most important Korean folk dances performed by women. Traditionally, young women would gather at the house with the largest yard in the village to greet the rise of the full moon in the 1st and 8th lunar months. They would then pass the night by dancing and singing. These dances could also be held before the rice harvest, and thus serve as a group prayer for a bountiful crop. The ceremony involves great symbolism regarding the moon, female principle, night, and circle. The full moon is a great round disk in the night sky, and the women on the ground make a big circle during their Ganggangsuwollae dance. The participants all hold hands and begin to dance in a circle to the music. One with a good voice shouts out the lyrics, and the rest join in with the Ganggangsuwollae refrain. The young women, who are strictly guarded at night, are allowed to play freely on that evening, so they dance and sing the night away with Ganggangsuwollae.
이 강강수라는 가사가 정해진 게 없거든요. 그때그때 생기는 대로 즐거운 가사 하고 즐겁게 뛰고, 또 슬픈 가사 하면 또 슬프게 하고, 또 웃기는 가사 하면 웃으면서 하고, 그렇게 그때그때 생각나는 대로 유행가 가사처럼 그렇게 해요.
The constantly changing lyrics, sung all night, represent an oral folk tradition with rich content and poetry, expressing the joys and sorrows particular to women. Ganggangsuwollae is an original blend of song, dance, and poetry, and therefore represents a unique form of Korean ballad dance. The dance begins slowly, but the tempo picks up steadily, and the participants begin to dance in abandon filled with ecstasy. They dance until their legs are so swollen that they have trouble walking the next day. Ganggangsuwollae is a dance with songs, and it can also be accompanied with various other folk games. The dance starts out in a rotating circle, but as things heat up, the formation changes repeatedly. One of these variations is called playing terrapin, where one dancer dances in the center, surrounded by the others. Other steps include picking bracken fern, catching herring, stepping on tiles, picking tails, rolling straw mats, playing guards, and threading the needle. Ganggangsuwollae is a celebration of feminine beauty unmatched by other traditional Korean dances. Here, when the lines and dance movements are in full swing, the beauty of the round shape is especially noticeable, reminiscent of the feminine mystique. As they hold hands and dance round and round, all the participants feel great harmony and unity. Ganggangsuwollae is an example of human cultural diversity and has been acknowledged for its contribution to human creativity. For these reasons, the dance has been designated as being part of the World Intangible Heritage by UNESCO. Cheoyongmu, a beautiful dance that protects people from misfortune. According to a legend, Kim Hongong, the 49th Shilla monarch, was once on an outing. While resting at Gaewon-po, the fog suddenly rose up, obscuring the landscape. The king then vowed to order a temple be built at that spot, and the dragon king of the East Sea, called Jo-hwa, appeared with his 7 sons, praising the king's virtue with music and dance. Choyong, who was one of his sons, followed the king to his castle and got himself a beautiful wife. One day, Choyong caught the smallpox demon, who was disguised as a human, sleeping with his wife, and he chased the demon away with a song and dance. Cheoyongmu is a mask dance. These days it is performed on a stage, but it used to be for repelling evil spirits and expressing wishes for peace during royal court banquets, and to pray for good luck on the first day of the Lunar New Year. This mysterious masked dance that began from the legend of Choyong symbolizes the defeat of evil and invocation of auspicious energy. The Choyong mask is dark purple with red skin and white teeth. There are 10 earrings with lead beads in each ear. And the dancer wears a hat once used by officials. The hat is decorated with 2 pony blossoms, 7 peaches, and some branches. The purple color and peaches are believed to exorcise evil spirits. The peonies are considered noble flowers and are associated with the coming of happy events. A dancer in blue costume goes on stage to begin Cheoyongmu. A line of 4 other dancers follow, each representing Choyong. They tread cautiously like a dragon crossing a ridge. Carefully maintaining the balance and moving to a slow tempo, they flow continuously like a river. The 5 Cheoyong dancers, each in a different colored costume, represent different things. Blue is for spring, red summer, white fall, black winter, and yellow in the middle presides over the 4 seasons. This is based on the theories of yin-yang and the 5 elements. The colors blue, red, black, white, and yellow correspond to the elements of wood, fire, water, wind, and earth. The energy from yin and yang creates heaven and earth, and all living things are born and die according to the movements of these 5 elements. The 5 Cheoyong dancers also represent the 5 Confucian virtues of benevolence, righteousness, propriety, wisdom, and trustworthiness. The dance ends when all the other dancers follow the one in blue back to where they started. This signifies that ending is a new beginning, and that when there is a beginning, there is also an ending.
초영무가 세계 무형문화재로 등재된 이유의 하나는 그 역사성과 전통성 그리고 그 예술성이 시대별 즉 신라로부터 고려 조선에 이르기까지 그 사상을 계승한 데 그 특징이 있습니다.
Cheoyongmu is more than a ritual to expel malicious spirits. The higher ideals it embraces have allowed the dance to survive the test of time as a noble art form. This beautiful dance has continued to be performed for 1,000 years. Within it lies an expression of wishes by Koreans to expel evil and to pursue a peaceful and harmonious world. Namsadang-nori, a comprehensive folk performance representing the joys and the sorrows of commoners. In late Chosun, itinerant groups of male entertainers, usually numbering around 40, first appeared. These troops, also called Namsadang-pe, and their leader is known as Gokduse. They traditionally went around farming and fishing villages to perform Namsadang entertainment acts, or nori for the common folk. Namsadang-nori is a folk tradition by the common people for the common people. It started out as a popular form of amusement to express the resentment the lower class felt in a strict social order. It was also a way to criticize the unethical abuses by the ruling class. Namsadang-nori helped to arouse public awareness, and today is an important intangible cultural asset that is a part of Korea's cultural and artistic landscape.
우리 그 남사당놀이 특징이라는 것은 우리 남사당놀이가 그만 남사당이 아니고 남사당놀이에 6가지 종목이 있어요.
Namsadang performances include playing farmers' percussion music, dish spinning, tumbling, tightrope walking, mass dances, and puppet shows. The troupe carried on singing and dancing tradition of court jesters who performed at state-sponsored events and for visitors of foreign envoys during Chosun. But the nature of Namsadang-nori changed as it developed into a form of popular amusement. For example, the mass dances and puppet plays became more satirical, expressing distaste for corrupt officials, inept gentry, and a stifling patriarchal society. They also expressed the wish to live in greater freedom. The audience members could find some release from the psychological repression they had to endure. A second important feature is the venue. The performances are held in the open space, which can be just about anywhere. The audience sits close to the action and sometimes becomes part of it. In this case, the clown may encourage more audience involvement. The acts are literally and metaphorically open to everyone. Another aspect of Namsadang-nori is that it is performed by skilled professionals. The performers are well versed in music, dance, literature, drama, mime, and other performing arts. Namsadang-nori is usually based on the Wutdari melody from Korea's Midlands. The performers show outstanding musical talent, various movements, dances, and acts by systematically rearranging the existing traditional music played by village farmers. Bona is an act where the performers spin hoops and dishes with a long stick and toss them back and forth. The jokes and bantering between the spinners and the clown enhance the theatrics. Salapan, literally meaning place to live, is derived from the phrase, "It is a good place to live if you do good, and a good place to die if you don't." This is a tumbling act that is unique because of the ongoing dialogue between the tumblers and the clown. Tightrope dancing is called orum, the Korean word for ice. The name suggests that the performers must be careful when walking on the tightrope as if they were walking on thin ice. The ropes are strung 2.5 meters off the ground and are usually 10 to 15 meters long. The ropes must support heavy weight and therefore have to be set up by professionals. The act proceeds with the performer walking on the tightrope while exchanging banter and songs with the clown on the ground. This adds to the enjoyment of the performance. Tutbegi means looking out into the world. It's a form of masked play that entertains by criticizing society through dialogue, dance, accompanying music, singing, and mime. Dolmi is the only traditional puppet show in Korea. While the puppeteer controls the puppets behind the screen, a narrator seated among the musicians carries on a dialogue with the puppets. The unstructured format is a feature of this performance. Namsadang-nori involves 6 separate but related acts. It is a comprehensive form of folk performing arts, characterized by satirical social commentary and spontaneity in responding to the audience. Yeongsanjae Ceremony, solemn beauty of Korean Buddhist culture. The elaborate Jungsanje Ceremony seeks to reveal the ultimate truth of reality. This ritual transcends time and space to recall the Buddha's preaching of the Lotus Sutra to the assembly at Vulture Peak in India some 2,600 years ago. Yongsanjae is not merely a reenactment of a scene from a story, but rather a solemn Buddhist ritual. The purpose is to awaken sentient beings bound on earth to the Buddha's truth. This is the most solemn Buddhist ceremony conducted in front of the Buddha. The participants express their wishes for all to transcend life and death and to become one in the Dharma and meet again. In other words, it means forming a relationship with the Dharma and realizing enlightenment. Yongsanjae begins by hanging out a picture of the Vulture Peak Assembly outside with the aim of establishing the Buddha realm. Next are the rites for transporting the objects of worship out of the temple hall. This is accompanied with playing of the 2-string zither, 6-string zither, large drum, hourglass drum, and other instruments, as well as various dance performances. The music in this ceremony is collectively referred to as bompe, and the dance as Jakbommu. Bompe is performed to praise the Buddha's merits, and Jakbommu expresses the joy of meeting the Buddha's truth or Dharma through the movements. Jakbommu adds to the majesty of the ceremony and consists of 4 types: the Bara-mu, Jakbokmu, Bopgo-mu, and Taju-mu. Bara-mu features the use of cymbals. Chakbokmu is a dance that praises the Dharma through the wearing of colorful robes and a conical headpiece while holding a lotus blossom in each hand. Bokgomu is a dance performed while beating on the Dharma drum. It starts out slowly, but the tempo quickens, representing acceleration in the effort to find the truth. The slowing of the beat at the end represents having reached the desired realm. Tajumu is done during the offering of meals. It symbolizes a warning to use the energies from the offering solely to enter nirvana. Unlike the other dances, Jakbokmu calms the spirit, assists with the meditation, and helps people to find the proper balance between pain and joy. It is an important part of the Yeongsanjae ceremony and is included in each ritual step. The dance expresses the process for reaching understanding and fulfillment. Once the object of worship has been moved, the participants pray through various rituals. The truth and nourishment are offered to departed souls. The last ritual is performed by having all participants walking around the altar while reciting the Buddhist scripture. Most of the ceremony is performed by the monks, but the participation by everyone at the end is a special feature.
영산제가 우리나라의 문화에 끼친 영향은 지대하다라고 볼 수가 있습니다. 불교 의식이긴 하지만 모든 춤이나 소리의 가장 기본이 되는 것이 불교에서 나온 그 영산제 범패 소리를 제가 알고 있습니다.
Jungsanje is a creative and artistic expression of Korean Buddhism, as well as a part of traditional culture. It is meant to lead both the living and departed souls to the understanding of Buddha's truth and help them to arrive at a state free of sorrow and pain. The value lies not in its being a performance to watch, but rather a magnificent ceremony in which all take part. Yeongsanjae is like a flower blossoming out of Korean thought, culture, art, and history. Therefore, it portrays Korean Buddhism in a very attractive light. The footsteps of the cultures of humanity. The UNESCO World Heritages in Korea remind us of the true value that all of humanity possesses. The footsteps of the cultures of humanity. UNESCO Heritage in Korea.